going down. It's going down, 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 down. It's going
Oh my god, I'm sorry folks. I apologize about that. That shit
It was a little long, yeah.
Hey, you know what? I don't care. That shit is gold. The Chappelle show was gold. Anyways, folks, that is of course only that is the indication that this has to be the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast, because of course only we would actually have that to start the show. So that's how you know. That's how you know you're home with us here at the Bleeding Edge. And look, I of course am here. I am the co-host, Jeff S, of course, with my other co-host, Cyberneticshark, veteran YouTuber. And we have Renee from Sakar.freeforums.net, the podcast of champions. What's up, Renee?
Doing great.
Renee took a break from us, and now she's back energized and ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Rested, ready to go.
There you go. We got Gunnar here. Gunnar is the co-host of Snap and MCU Podcast. What is up, Gunnar?
Not much, man. Glad to be here. Thanks.
There we go. Gunnar is freaking jacked up to fucking talk about Doctor Strange 2 trailer, man. He's ready.
Yep.
That's right. So guess what, everybody? Basically, we are going to make a nice-ass segment out of watching the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, reacting to it. We've got the Super Bowl Doctor Strange TV spot, which Gunnar just told me about and enlightened me about. I didn't even know about. So we're going to watch that. We're going to eventually get to the Moon Knight TV spot, watch and react to that, and, who knows, fit in some, a little bit of this and that, and before you know it, that'll be the end of the show. So, let's get into it. Let's do it. I'm going to say right now, just to preface, that the Doctor Strange 2 trailer was, insane to me when I saw it the first time. I did not even know what to think. Literally. So before we even watch, I just want to go around and ask. Renee, did you see the trailer already?
Yeah, I've seen it maybe twice already.
Okay. What were your initial thoughts?
I'm really excited about it. I mean, I like everything I saw. There's the little question: is Professor X supposed to be Patrick Stewart's Professor X's voice being heard in the background? So that's intriguing. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, Gunnar, I know you saw it.
Yeah, probably about 20 times.
Oh man! So what were your initial thoughts the first time you saw it?
I just to me now, I'm just tunnel vision on Doctor Strange. It stinks. I was really looking forward to Moon Knight, but right now, I've just pushed Moon Knight out of my way. I was really excited about Thor, pushed that out of my way. I'm tunnel vision now for this movie.
Well, I'll tell you right now. As far as I'm concerned, having a conversation where we're going to be focused on Moon Knight, the Disney Plus series, and that character, and then Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness too. Those are two freaking really great topics to talk about. Really great productions, great releases, great everything to have going on. Really it is. And Cyber, initial reactions of seeing the Doctor Strange 2 trailer.
I was blown away. Hands down, I was just getting in my seat watching the trailer for the first time and just couldn't get enough of it. And just like Gunnar, I've watched it several times too myself. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's so many great treasure troves in this trailer. There's lots of things to talk about in this trailer. So it's going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be completely honest with you. To tell you the truth, Cyber, I think that, upon inspection, kind of thinking about it a little bit, you're right. Like, there's so much going on in that trailer. It's so packed that honestly, we could probably do a 2-hour show just on that. Literally. There's so much going on in there. And I'll tell you right now, I saw it twice. That's it. So this is going to be my third time watching it. And I guarantee you, I will probably notice at least 4 or 5 things I didn't see before already. And I still won't get all of it. There's a lot of stuff in there that I don't know what the hell it is or what's going on. There are a lot of those kind of moments in there. And I think that's great that like it's like that, because you know what? We've been talking about this movie and like speculating about this movie for so long. There's been so many leaks and rumors and whatnot and everything about who's going to be in it, what characters, this and that it's really cool that the trailer does not reflect all that noise. It doesn't. There's a lot of surprises there. So you know what? Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then, the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Okay. I mean, geez, it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. I don't typically get into like trying to rank trailers, like, as far as like from like film to film and stuff like that and whatnot, or series and whatnot. I don't like to rank them really, or try to like, compare and contrast as far as, Falcon and the Winter Soldier's trailers were so much better than Hawkeye or whatever. But in this situation, I feel like not just because it's Doctor Strange 2. And it's Multiverse of Madness and that whole concept or whatever. But because in general, the trailer is that good. Like, that it's literally probably the best Marvel trailer that I've seen since Avengers Endgame. Probably, I think. And maybe even better than Avengers Endgame. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But anyways, so to start off, Gunnar, just give me basically your, again, from now, now that we've moved past the fact that we've all seen it and everything and whatnot before then, what right there did you notice? What did you pick up? Like, what right there caught your attention?
I mean, I don't know that anything new caught my attention, just because I've seen it so many times. But now when I see the trailer again, I can point out where I noticed things from other watches. So it's like, oh, that's where I came up with this, and that's where I came up with this. But my initial comment about this trailer is just, it asks so many questions, and it gets your mind racing with so many theories and ideas that I think it's done its job tenfold by just opening that door to the multiverse of where this thing can go in our minds. And, you know, I just hope that I don't get Phantom Menace syndrome on it, that I build this movie so much in my brain that it doesn't live up to it. Kind of like I felt when we were watching WandaVision, where the story I was creating was so grand that no matter what they did, it would never reach that level that I made it in my head. So that's the one thing that I fear. But besides that, man, I'm really looking forward to this movie.
Hey, you know what? I forgot to even mention this. I haven't even talked to anybody about this. WandaVision Season 2 is official. That's it.
Okay.
We're getting WandaVision Season 2. Done deal. Who would have thought that? I mean, seriously, who would have thought that? Did you know that, Cyber?
No.
Yep. I've already... Nate the Great... From With Great Power and shit, sent me the article the minute that it came out official. I've already seen it.
Is it this movie, WandaVision 2, Season 2?
No, we're getting WandaVision Season 2. Is it going to connect to this movie? I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Interesting.
I cannot remember. They didn't say exactly when it's coming out, but if I'll look on the other laptop real quick in a minute. But I believe, if I remember correctly, it's going to be coming out either at the end of 2022 or in beginning of 2023.
Nice.
But I could be wrong about that.
I wonder if they filmed more of the first season that they didn't realize that was going to be as popular it was, and that I wonder if they're going to be using like excess footage that they took, because I know there were reshoots to WandaVision before they released it in January of last year. So I wonder if that's some of what we'll be getting.
Or maybe they shot too much for Doctor Strange and was like, you know what, we could probably put this into its own series.
Maybe.
I don't know. All I know is that honestly, as a fan, I could not be more happy that they're doing the second season of WandaVision. If they were going to do it, look, you guys already know when we did the ranking, of the 1 through 10 or whatever of 2021 of the MCU releases, WandaVision was my number 1. So for me, this is like a home run. I mean, seriously. Especially when literally we're gonna have to be handling Ironheart series coming out later and freaking Miss Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll tell you right now. The first time I start watching Ironheart for episode 1. I'm probably going to experience erectile dysfunction for the rest of my life, just from the effect, that's going to be the impact of how bad it's potentially going to be, literally. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then Miss Marvel, I mean, look, honestly, I'm trying to be optimistic, but the one picture I saw of her in her costume was freaking Clown World. It was a shit show, straight up. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now, it was I thought it was a joke, but we'll see. We'll see. It's Marvel Studios. Maybe they can, maybe they can turn a piece of shit into a piece of gold.
They've done it before?
Yeah, they have. They've done it before, So what do you think, Renee? Anything different now that you watched the trailer here on the show or anything like that and whatnot? Anything that caught your eye?
Just a few things. First off, I'll just say Benedict Cumberbatch was probably the most perfect casting as far as Marvel goes. I mean, just really, he just stepped when the minute I remember hearing that he was cast as Doctor Strange way on back. I said, "Oh, that's they nailed it." Anyway, I think the whole thing. He says right off the beginning. He says every night I dream the same dream. And then that kind of reminds me of if we go back to the Loki series, where in the TVA they have this, which is mentioned ominously about this nightmare department, and so I'm wondering how some of these things are going to tie into the Loki series, since he is at the nexus of where this multiverse is splintering.
We could see the Loki variant in the movie.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. There's been rumors that somehow, some way, they're going to make which remember, their Doctor Strange has the ability to project himself into other realms and things and whatnot, and see what's going on, and that's the cause probably of his nightmares right there. and everything that's gone down, before with Thanos and everything. So yeah, I think they're going to have to tie in, and then talking about they're going to do a second season with WandaVision. So there again, and they were talking about right before how they had to do some reshoots for this particular movie because the rumor was that the fans, the focus groups, were not reacting well to how the Scarlet Witch was being portrayed. But now it could have been something else. They could be reshooting it because we're doing this other series now. We have to make continuity fit with this film and stuff like that. I mean, they juggle a lot of irons in the fire. Marvel does, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can make it work. And it's like you say, it could fall apart. It could fall apart because we saw everything fall apart with Boba Fett. So it's very possible.
Well, hey, I'm not even gonna say anything about Boba Fett. I'm gonna save it for next episode and whatnot. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm gonna stick to Marvel tonight.
Okay.
My bread and butter. So, anyways, real quick, Renee, what do you think about the fact that we're gonna get WandaVision season 2?
Yeah, like I was saying, I think it's a type of show that appeals to me. I think more than a lot of other Marvel fans. So it's not going to be for everybody. But then remember, there's also, I think they're doing an Agatha series.
They are.
So we can probably see some tie-ins there, as far as her competition with Agatha, who's a very powerful witch on her own, and is going to probably try to make her own moves at a certain point.
Yeah. Cyber, two-parter. Give me your thoughts on the WandaVision season 2 coming out, being official, and then again, where are we at? Where are you at with Doctor Strange 2 trailer? After just seeing it now, thinking about it a little bit, what's going on in there that you want to talk about that you're into?
So for the WandaVision, I really could care less, honestly. WandaVision was not my favorite of the series. It was okay. I love Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda. I like that character. If we get more Vision in this series, great. If we get the White Vision and all that kind of good stuff, it's a Marvel show. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be interesting to see what it's all about. But it's not like, oh God, I can't wait to see that. So. But going into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, with this trailer, watching it again this time, every time I watch it, I notice something new. I always notice something a little bit more detailed, or I pay attention a little bit more to something I noticed the previous time. And you just get so many great things in this trailer, like we talked about earlier. But the fact that we get is a particular character keeps popping up in that trailer that we get to see, that is a Minotaur. And it's going to be interesting to see how big of a part this character plays in this film, because this is a Marvel character that has not been introduced yet, but has been mentioned in previous Marvel films. So this character, which I always have a hard time pronouncing his name, but his name is Rintra, and he's going to be an interesting character to see if they do anything with. And, because in the trailer, if you look at it, it's just kind of the back of his head. But if you look right before that scene, you could see the front of his face, too, as well, if you look fast enough. And so you get kind of a 360 of that character's look, and it's really cool looking. So that was something that I really noticed this time. I actually got to see that. Yeah, you do get to see the front of his face very briefly. Also, what I noticed every single time that I've watched the trailer is the robots that are leading Doctor Strange after he's been handcuffed to go talk to whatever council he's being brought to because of Mordo. And if you notice, those robots that are guiding him look awfully a lot like Ultron, which is another thing that, are we going to see Ultron again? Interesting. Mm-hmm. And you keep seeing all these great things in this trailer, so it's a really fantastic trailer. And so there's so many things. You can just keep going and going. I don't want to take up too much time, but that was two things that really popped out to me this time around.
Okay. I wanted to say, before I send another volley of questions out on the trailer, you guys, that where I'm at with I understand where you're coming with WandaVision Cyber. I get it, and at the end of the day, we talk about this all the time, right? Like, we're all part of the fandom. We all have opinions. We all like certain properties. We all like certain characters. That's part of the experience. Even if we didn't have an MCU, even if there wasn't a Marvel Studios, and all there was the comic books, we'd still all have different opinions. We'd still all like certain characters against other characters. That is an integral aspect of the whole experience of Marvel, the comics, all of it, the lore, all of it. And at the end of the day, like, look, sure, like, there's moments where, hey, I was doing a show on the weekend, the other weekend, and like Nate the Great said during the show, you were there, Renee, that he thought Spider-Man 3 was a better movie than Endgame. That's what he said. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you delusional? You know what I mean? Like, because like at that moment, I just was shocked that he said that. You know what I'm saying? But I felt bad. I stepped back and I was like, hey man, you know what? I respect that. That's okay. If that's what you like, good for you. Good for you. I still think that, like, that's a bold statement, personally, but it is what it is, right? And at the end of the day, too, you got to remember, Nate's 20. I mean, I'm 39, so hey, of course he's gonna have a different opinion and feel differently about the films than I do. Makes sense, I mean, look at the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, right? Imagine what it must be like, the lens that, like, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, that girl Maddie that came on the show the other day, a 25-year-old or whatever, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old. Imagine their lens, like, when they see the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, what they're thinking, about it, compared to, like, what we're thinking, right? At our ages and everything. It's very interesting. All of it. It's just very interesting, And honestly, as far as WandaVision 2 goes, just real quick, the WandaVision Season 2, the way I see it, whether you like WandaVision or not, the original WandaVision, whatever, that's fine. I get it, why some people didn't like it, I do. I loved it. And what I think, honestly, is that what they started with the first season, then you throw in Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness, then you do WandaVision Season 2, there are so many possibilities with that they could go with Season 2 of WandaVision. There's so many directions they could go. So many new characters they could bring in. So many tie-ins. So many connections they could make across the MCU with that second season. I mean, seriously, like, if they were going to have a show to do a second season of, out of Disney Plus shows, I feel like the WandaVision, compared to Loki, well, I don't know, maybe similar with Loki, but I mean, as far as, like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, they don't have the potential. They don't have the same moving parts and pieces and whatnot going on, the same themes that WandaVision does, to where they could take that second season of Hawkeye to a place where I feel like WandaVision Season 2 could go, if that makes sense. And at that point, for me, it's just very, very interesting, to think about and speculate what the hell they're going to do with that with Season 2 of WandaVision. Hey, Jeff.
What's up?
Oh, just the same old.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm late. I had a birthday dinner and.
Happy birthday, man.
Got behind. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Happy birthday, man. I sent you a
52 in a row.
Hey, I sent you a present, man. I went on seekingarrangements.com earlier today, a website that I'm a good friend of and a member of and proud member of, and I went ahead and set up something for you. There's going to be a 18-year-old girl showing up tonight around 2 a.m. She'll be at your house, and you got 3 hours with her, bro. That's all I can tell you. All right.
That'll work.
Yep. And she's down for whatever. So, just be prepared. But be nice. Anyways.
That will work.
You can read her a story, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
So anyways, Jeff, listen, man. We're talking Doctor Strange 2 trailer.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been listening in the car.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
on my way
okay,
here.
Great.
So.
All right, so you know what the hell's going on then. Great.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I'll get you in right now. Give me your initial thoughts when you first saw the trailer.
When I first saw the trailer, my initial thought was, damn, all the stuff they showed, all the different characters. And just like Gunnar was saying, it opens up that third eye and you start coming up with all of these different theories of what's going on. It lived up to the title, Multiverse of Madness, because that's exactly what it is. There's so many different theories going around right now online with so many different things people were saying. I mean, I don't think that that's the Illuminati.
That's what I was saying.
I don't think that it's Superior Iron Man. I don't think that it's Monica Rambeau. I think it's Jonathan Winters.
I think exactly
it's
what I was thinking.
You know, I think it's got to do with time, with multiverses, and I think it's got to do with Immortus and Iron Lad, and I think it's all leading up to Young Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, I totally
awesome.
agree with you, Jeff.
I hope I'm right. I mean, I hope I'm right, but I've only found one other theory online that even suggests that, but I just don't think that's the Illuminati, because the Illuminati is not a faction of people that's going to judge. You know what I'm saying? They're not the judge and jury. The Illuminati was a protector of Earth.
And I think that people are just saying that it's the Illuminati because Patrick Stewart's there. That's the only reason.
That's what I think. And that could be a ploy, man. That could be a ploy by Marvel. You never know.
I think Patrick Stewart is going to have a much different role in this. And I think it's going to be very small, but I think his role is he's going to pull Doctor Strange aside. And you hear him say, we have to tell him the truth.
Right.
And I think his truth is that, look, Wanda isn't who you think she is. We are in the middle of House of M. She has made all the mutants disappear.
And I think that's her when they show her in the civilian gear and you see Wanda in the Scarlet Witch gear and she's set in Indian style and you're in the house off of WandaVision, off Westview. I believe that is her. The civilian clothing, that's Wanda fighting her variant.
Yeah. Oh,
and I think the one that's Indian style is her variant. And I think that, you know, I just think it's all tied back to the original WandaVision and tied really with a lot of Loki.
Absolutely. And I mean, everyone's saying, oh, that looks like Iron Man. That looks like Superior Iron Man. It does. But we know they're doing Young Avengers. Besides Hulkling, who is the only Young Avenger not to show up yet? Iron Lad. And if this is, in my mind, it's not going to be the Illuminati. I think it's going to be the Council of Kangs.
That's what I think.
Kangs is Iron Lad.
Right.
And maybe
in the comics,
I think he'll be there.
Right. He ran back to tell the original Avengers what was going to happen. And they were all gone. And I think that's what's going to happen is he's going to come back and try to tell the Avengers, and he's going to find out they're not there. You know, Captain America's not around. You know what I'm saying? All the original Avengers aren't there anymore. And so he's going to have to find the new Avengers, and that's going to be the new Hawkeye and Ironheart and so on. And it's going to be really cool. The direction they're going in is just awesome. I mean, and it makes me wish they had done this way before now.
I agree. If there is going to be a WandaVision season 2, I mean, what a better thing to do than House of M, which is what everyone assumed the first WandaVision was going to be.
And I think that's what's going to happen. I think this Doctor Strange 2 movie is going to open up the mutants. I think by the end of the movie, they're going to be there. Because, I mean, part of the Illuminati is Black Bolt. They haven't even introduced Black Bolt to us.
Well, he wasn't Black Bolt in Inhumans, which... Yeah,
he was the king of Inhumans.
Exactly. No, but I mean in the Inhumans series. I think he was in that. But
yeah, he was in that originally.
Supposed to, forget that existed or not.
But I mean, maybe they'll. I don't know. The direction they're going in is just crazy, man. There's so many ifs and ands or buts, but that's what makes it fun.
Hell yeah, most definitely. I was actually doing a show recently again on the weekend, and again, Nate the Great brought up an article that he watched talking about Doctor Strange 2 before the trailer came out, and he rattled off this list that this publication put out as a rumor that these 13 characters were going to be in the movie Doctor Strange 2, and it was like Leonardo DiCaprio, Iron Man or whatever, Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider was going to be in the movie. God, I hope that doesn't happen. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you right now.
Nah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Please, Kevin Feige, please. Do not put Nick Cage, Ghost Rider, in the goddamn movie. Don't do it. Please. But anyways, the Punisher, it was crazy, this list. Like, I'm like, some of it didn't even make any sense. Like, why the hell would the Punisher be in this movie?
It's a multiverse.
But
it's a multiverse.
There's no telling who could come in this. It's definitely going to be maddening.
If you were going to introduce the Punisher into a vehicle in the MCU, why would you go with Doctor Strange 2?
Because what a better vehicle than the multiverse of madness. Because if you're dealing with the multiverse, anything could come your way, especially with how No Way Home ended, where, basically we think that he fixed things, but just like in the trailer showing us that, Wong is telling him you can't fix everything, Steven. There's still things going on that happened because of the whole No Way Home thing. So Multiverse of Madness is going to be about anything could happen. So, there's things that could have still came through, which could be anything from a Netflix show, could be from the
So Frank Castle, the Punisher, with a machine gun is going to take out Shuma Gorath.
Maybe. You never know.
Okay.
I think, though,
I'd watch that.
I think that was Mordo that slapped the handcuffs, those handcuffs on Strange.
Wait a second. That's a question I have right there, okay? Was there something in the trailer I missed that actually, completely, seriously, officially connects Mordo to that whole other segment with the robots or whatever, that alien race and shit, and then Professor X and everything?
Yeah, Professor X may or may not be in that scene. That's where it was cut in the trailer.
Wait a minute, though.
Mordo you could see him cutting the handcuffs or attacking Dr. Strange. It looks like he's cutting off the handcuffs that Dr.
And he was walking up on the stage at the council.
Well, that may or may not be. He looks like him.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It's all subjective.
But, Mordo in the comics is a main villain of Doctor Strange's anyway.
Hey, I'm glad Mordo's in this movie. I really am. I'm really glad they brought him
back.
So
it would be pretty cool if him and one of the variant Kangs got together and they were buddies.
I cannot pronounce his name at all, but the actor that does Mordo is fabulous. He's a great actor.
I can't either. I don't even want to try. I'll chop it all up.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. But
anyways, no, it really pumped me up, man. I've been doing nothing. I haven't stopped thinking about that. And I've been watching the trailer over and over, and every time I see it, I can't wait.
I hear you, man. I'm telling you right now. I've already said it. I've already mentioned that. I literally was blown away the first time I saw it. But, okay, the Scarlet Witch. Okay, and this is another round here. Everybody here on the panel. The Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda Maximoff. Okay. What are y'all's thoughts? What are y'all theories about, based off the trailer, based off WandaVision, based off the future of this character in the MCU? What are your thoughts about, how this could play out with Wanda, where this could go with her, what her role could be completely, overall in the film? Because I feel like the trailer does not completely convey everything that's going to be going down with her, or explain really what a lot of it that does show is even about. Cyber, go ahead.
Wanda is definitely going to be playing a big part in this whole Multiverse of Madness. I do agree with that. I do agree that she's going to have a big chunk of extent of what's going to happen in this film and pulled out. I don't know if she is going to be exactly the bad guy by the end of this film. If she's going to be like, if this is leading to what supposedly WandaVision season 2 is going to be about. I don't know, exactly what's going to happen, but I definitely do know that there's going to be a huge, basically, growth of what we've seen Wanda as from WandaVision up to this point. I think we're going to see a completely different person. I think we're going to see, all those vices that she's had to deal with, from the death of Pedro to the death of Vision and all that kind of stuff. I think it's all going to finally completely implode in this film and bring us to what Wanda is supposed to be in the MCU's timeline. And it's going to be interesting to just see what exactly she ends up going towards. Is she going to end up working with Kang? Is she going to end up, working with Mordo? Who knows? I mean, there's so many different possibilities where Wanda could go, but just like how Marvel Studios always does things, they always keep you guessing until they actually reveal it. So it'll be interesting to see what actually ends up coming of what, fully what Wanda's purpose is for this film.
Okay, Renee, your turn.
Yeah, I see it. I think at least for this next few years anyway, as far as the TV shows and the movies go, it's going to be focused on this multiverse aspect. And I think it's already sort of clearly stated that Doctor Strange is battling alternate versions of himself. And so, it's going to probably happen for all the characters, the main characters going forward, at least in the movies, that they're going to have to deal with the what ifs. I guess they're talking about the Ultron robots. Well, that would be the universe. What if Ultron won? What if he won that battle with the Avengers, and that was the universe 100 years from now that he creates? So we get to see that. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of intriguing things going on. Sometimes I kind of get lost in a lot of the speculation, and I know it's driven by enthusiasm. I'm not knocking that, and Jeff Bowman's absolutely right. That's the fun part of it. But sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. I'm going to say, well, do I really want to, because I don't know. Speaking personally, as the type of fan I am, I don't know a lot of these characters and I'm not that familiar with the comic books. So a lot of this stuff is new to me. So, when sometimes I might say something on a fan site that, well, maybe this, and then somebody comes back in, well, no, that's not possible. That couldn't happen, and yada yada. And it's like, oh, okay, dude, I'm just trying to, just trying to add to the fun here. But yeah, sometimes that can get a little annoying as far as I go, in my experience with Marvel. But yeah, I think Wanda Maximoff, she's definitely going to be, I think, a major part going forward for the next few films. And until they resolve the multiverse, which may take another 2-3 years.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Renee, if you think the Marvel fandom is bad, let me tell you, since I became a Bandmaid fan and joined the Bandmaid fandom, I have literally been in like huge, intense arguments and like been sworn at and freaking yelled at and like called intense names and accused of being friggin' accused of being like a black market criminal or some shit on Facebook or whatever, because I bought this poster on Redbubble and I didn't buy it from the official Bandmaid site or whatever. I'm telling you right now, these Bandmaid people, some of these fans are like insane, literally. Hey, shout out to Bandmaid Fandom, best live rock band in the world, yo. If you haven't checked out Bandmaid yet, I'm telling you right now, you don't know what you're missing. So anyways, Renee, do you need to go, sweetie?
Yeah, I've got about 5 more minutes. If you want to throw a question at me, a random question, I'll try to answer it. Okay.
You know what? I actually had a woman say the same thing to me the other night. She said the same thing. I got about 5 more minutes, and I told her, well, guess what? You're gonna be here until I fucking tell you to leave. And hey, you know what? That's how it went. So, no, I'm just playing. I would never treat a woman that way. Anyways, so as far as this goes, Gunnar, again, where do you see this going? Like, I mean, beyond, expanding my question a little bit, where does the Scarlet Witch go beyond Doctor Strange 2?
I mean, I think she has one motive in Doctor Strange 2, and that is finding her kids. I think she's going to use Doctor Strange's ability to navigate the multiverse to find her children. So that's where it's going to go. I think she is going to find her children. If not in this series, if there's a second WandaVision, I think it will be the House of M storyline. And I think this will set that up. She's find her children, and it'll be revealed that she has made all the mutants disappear already.
So you're telling me that you think that after Doctor Strange 2, they're gonna literally drop mutants so they can do House of M?
No, I think we are in the middle of House of M already. They're gonna J.J. Abrams that crap where it starts in the middle of the episode and then you kind of go back. So I think we're gonna find out the reason there's no X-Men and no mutants in our current MCU is because Wanda made them all disappear. And that is what the resolution of that will be WandaVision season 2 again, if there is a WandaVision season 2.
There is. It's official.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And
that's a good point.
So, Gunnar, how do you? Let me ask you a question. Well, you know what? And I'm gonna put this to everybody too. But Gunnar, I'll start with you. How much do you think WandaVision's success influenced the role that she plays in Doctor Strange 2?
I don't think it had as much as you would think. I mean, I think WandaVision came out of nowhere and surprised the heck out of everyone. I don't know that I don't know. That's a really hard question. Because I could see it either way. I mean, it makes sense that they would boost her part up after the success of WandaVision. But also, I think the success of WandaVision was what wasn't in the movie. And it was the discussion of what made WandaVision great. It was, when is Mephisto going to show up? When is all this stuff going to happen? I think that was the great thing about WandaVision. So I think if anything, they're going to go back and finally give us the WandaVision that we always wanted. Maybe. I don't know. But if they don't, I would be happy with it because I love the journey of WandaVision. So,
well, hey, Lord Deathman and I are actually going to be hanging out with Mephisto next weekend. So just so you know, Lord Deathman actually is a connected friend of Mephisto, since he lives in the the Hell realm. So Jeff, again, same question. The Scarlet Witch, Wanda, in the movie. What are your thoughts?
So what do I think is going to happen to her?
What are your thoughts? What are your theories? Like, what I'm saying, how's her role going to work? Like, what's her arc going to be? Where's it going to go?
Well, I think that Doctor Strange 2 is an extension of WandaVision.
It is. WandaVision was the first part of a multiverse
I think
trilogy.
They knew way in advance that they were going to do this. I think they had this worked out. I may be giving them too much credit, but I think they've been doing this for a while.
No, Jeff, they flat out did. It's a trilogy. WandaVision was the first part of a trilogy. Spider-Man 3 was 2. Doctor Strange is 3.
Yeah, it's definitely. But I think that she's obviously, from what I've seen on the trailer, she's confronting something in that council because she's not happy there. She's got blood on her face and her clothing. She's definitely confronting somebody or something there. That's why I think she's the original Wanda. I think the other one is a variant. I think the other one is an evil variant. When she's talking to Strange and she says, you do it and you're a hero. I do it and I'm a villain. I think that's the variant talking to Doctor Strange. I think that's how they're justifying what's going on. I think she's going to stick around. I've said it before. I'll say it again. She's the strongest Avenger, period. I think she's even stronger than Captain Marvel.
wait a minute. Hold on. Don't get too far into that because we're going to go to that. We're going to get into that later. So.
But that, I've said that from the get-go, but no, I think she'll definitely be around. And I know what Gunnar's saying. I think that too, but I think they're going to let us know at the end of this movie whether or not we're going to have mutants or not. I think we'll know by the end of this movie. I think this is their way of introducing. I think somehow, some way, they're going to show it. They're going to introduce us to either the X-Men or, mutants, period. So I don't know how. We've all heard the specs of Deadpool being in the mirror, in the glass pieces, and we've all heard that Hugh Jackman's supposed to get in there. Ryan Reynolds are all, but who knows? I don't want to buy into all of that. But I do think that by the end of this movie, Wanda will still be around. She'll be stronger, better, powerful. I think we'll know the mutants are there too. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. I can't wait.
Okay. Renee, before you take off, do you want to jump in on this?
No, just to say, like you said, I'm definitely looking forward to and it's good news that there's a second season of WandaVision. I
can't wait for that.
I'm sorry?
I can't wait for that either.
Yeah, I'd say whenever that'll happen. I think there's probably going to be sometime next year, at the end of next year, whenever we'll see it. But
honestly, Renee, I think what happened is that, the people, the execs at Marvel Studios saw some of the fucking Ironheart series already, and they were like, "Holy fuck, we got to do something here, man. This is fucked. We're fucked." So they decided to do WandaVision season 2.
Okay. All right, well, guys, I got to run, and I enjoyed everything, and y'all have fun talking about the rest of the Doctor Strange, and also I think you're going to do Moon Knight. Yeah, Moon Knight, and that's another one I'm really looking forward to.
Oh man!
Anyway, until next time.
All right, Renee, you're gonna miss out.
Bye.
Bye. Be good.
Anyways, Renee is a freaking good friend and a good guest. I enjoy that woman a lot. I do. I respect her a lot. Very reliable, very consistent. Great addition to the program. Great addition. So anyways, so to you, Cyber, same question. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, about, where you think, WandaVision influenced the actual role or arc of Wanda in Doctor Strange 2.
Well, it's obvious, when they said that Doctor Strange was going to be the conclusion of the WandaVision storyline, basically, it influenced it completely. So, there's a lot of things about Doctor Strange 2, I think, that is kind of more of like everyone keeps saying, it's like a WandaVision season 1.2, basically almost. They just decided to put it into a movie. And so, like everyone said, I foresee definitely Wanda sticking around for a long time. I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think she's going to be killed. I don't think she's going to be destroyed or anything like that. I definitely think that her character, like I said earlier, is going to have a huge explosion from everything that's happened to her, because she kind of had that and throughout WandaVision season 1, where she, kind of that power of hers kind of took over. But I think that it's going to come to a complete explosion where she's not going to be able to come back from what she does, and she's going to have to pay the consequences for what she's done, unlike how they did with WandaVision season 1, where she just kind of ran and nobody ever did anything about it, because she's so powerful. And just like, Jeff has said, Wanda seems to be the most powerful 100% seeming Avenger that we've ever had. And we just haven't seen her full potential because she hasn't always had the full potential, because she doesn't know she has it. She has it, but she hasn't learned how to tap into it yet, because I think with the Darkhold that we see at the very end of WandaVision season 1, she's going to learn how to open that up and have full access to her powers. So I foresee her becoming either eventually, probably down the line, probably going to become a villain for a short time and realize her ways and come back, or she could just always stay a hero and kind of be more like an anti-hero type of character that they decide to go with, kind of like Venom a little bit, where, he ends up becoming an anti-hero eventually even though he's been always considered a huge nemesis of Spider-Man. He ends up becoming an anti-hero at one point. I feel that's kind of where Wanda's going to lie within the MCU. Kind of, she's going to be kind of like a anti-hero. She's never really been a official hero, even though she was a part of the Avengers. She still was always looked at very strangely because, of what happened in Sokovia, what happened with, what the explosion that happened over to the Wakandans, in Civil War and so forth. So I think there's a lot of potential for her, and she eventually will end up wherever she's meant to, but who knows? It could be completely different than what any of us think. So you never know.
Well, I think that Cyber, you actually make a really good point, because I'll tell you right now, when you think about it, honestly, when you think about the lineup and the construction and everything, and putting together the next Avengers team, right, for Avengers 5, right, and you think about it, like you think about how Wanda as the Scarlet Witch, by the time by the time they do Avengers 5, she's gonna have evolved so much, right, that I wonder, honestly, how she would even fit in an Avengers team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she's going to be so powerful as an individual, and she's going to be so connected to so many different, aspects of the MCU lore. So she's going to be into so many different things and whatnot that, I don't want to get into the anti-hero thing. I'm saying that literally with Captain Marvel, right? She's powerful as hell, but they can make her work in the Avengers. They can make her fit in the Avengers 5. They can make her work. It'll work. It'll flow. With Wanda, with Scarlet Witch, she's such a interesting character that's so, layered. You know what I'm saying? And powerful in a way that's so different than Captain Marvel. So at a different level than Captain Marvel, as far as the depth of it, the impact of Wanda's powers, what she can influence in a universe, like in the multiverse with her powers. Where Captain Marvel, right? I mean, as powerful as she is she can fly around in space and shit and whatnot and breathe in space, but she cannot traverse the multiverse. She cannot, she cannot use the Darkhold, and, go to other dimensions. She just doesn't do that kind of stuff. So I think Cyber hit something on the head that it really makes you wonder, honestly, how do you fit the Scarlet Witch into the next Avengers team? Thor, hey, Thor will always fit in the Avengers. Thor's perfect for the Avengers. But anyways, I digress. So I want to mention next that, first of all, I want to ask you guys a question, because I missed something in the trailer. When Wanda and Doctor Strange are talking, right, and they're at that cemetery or whatever, and Doctor Strange asks her about the multiverse, does she say Viz had his theories?
Yes.
Okay. That's very interesting. It really is. It's very interesting wondering what Vision's theories would have been on the multiverse, what he would have known as Vision, right? With his programming and everything and whatnot, and the Infinity Stone, and everything, what he would have known, what he would have thought. That's very interesting to me. It is. But as far as America Chavez goes, I want to go around to everybody, and I want to start with you, Cyber. What do you think, how do you think America Chavez is going to play out in this movie? And how impactful do you think she'll be? Or not impactful she'll be in the film?
Well, I have no clue who the hell this character was. I mean, I just recently looked her up to see who she was. And that she goes by America most of the time. Miss America.
Miss America. Yep.
Yeah. I at first thought when I saw the trailer, I thought, oh, is this supposed to be Miss Marvel? I didn't realize it's supposed to be America Chavez. So that, theory changed for me. But I mean, if they're introducing this character, I feel like a lot of female characters driven, or female people that are interested in the Marvel universe are going to be really impressed with her, and they're going to really cling on to the MCU because they're introducing another female character. So I think she's good in that sense. Like I said, I don't know much about her, so I don't know how it's going to impact all MCU fans. But overall, I think it's an interesting choice of bringing this character in, and it'll be interesting to see what she brings to this film. I don't know how much she's actually in the film, but from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like she's got quite a few scenes, and she definitely goes against Gargantuous. So that'll be interesting to see just what she adds to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think she's going to be a huge part, maybe third lead after Strange and Wanda. And I think she's a big member of the Young Avengers. So
that's interesting.
I think she'll be a pretty important part going forward.
You honestly think that you think she'll be in the Young Avengers?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. She is a Young Avenger.
No, I know, but you got to remember.
Yeah.
When it comes to the MCU, when it comes to Marvel Studios and the cinematic universe, of course,
there's only two that they haven't introduced us to yet.
And one of them, I guarantee you, will be in.
Hulkling is one. I think he'll come out in Secret Invasion.
Exactly.
I do not believe at all that the Young Avengers from the comic books will be the exact lineup that we'll get in the MCU. I don't believe
we've gotten almost all of them though. That's pretty.
We've already gotten almost all of them now. There's only two left. I mean, you got Hulkling and Stature.
We've got it. We've got it. Yeah, we've technically.
He's coming out in Ant-Man Quantumania movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got an Iron Lad technically with Jonathan.
I think that's going to be our Avengers 5 team. Myself.
Well, hold on, Gunnar. That's the one part that I question. Where does Iron Lad fit into the MCU? How does that even work?
So Iron Lad is.
I know what Iron Lad. No. I know what Iron Lad is. I know what Iron Lad is. What I'm saying is, you honestly think that they're going to flush out that whole deal with Kang variants and everything and whatnot in the MCU?
I think eventually, yeah.
Yeah, they're already.
When we'll get them, I don't know, but.
It's just that's a deep story. You know what I'm saying? The Iron Lad origin story and everything and whatnot. That whole deal.
Sounds like ripe for a movie about the Young Avengers. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it is that we have already been introduced to all these characters. So it's just a matter of taking these pieces that we already know and putting them into position. Now, Billy and Tommy and Elijah Bradley's was it Eli Bradley? Are they ready for the team? I don't know. I mean, they've been introduced, so we know that they're around. So you can get a smaller, scaled down version at first, and in that movie, introduce Iron Lad into the Young Avengers. In that movie, like that's his origin story is told in that movie. Maybe he gets introduced in Multiverse of Madness, but then his big awakening is in this Young Avengers, either show or movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, I think the Young Avengers will probably be done in the Disney Plus series. I do, but you never know.
Yeah, but you would think Secret Invasion would be a movie because I think that would be huge. But they're given that time to be in a series.
They're not going to really honestly do the entire expanded comic book version of Secret Wars. They're not going to do it.
Oh, I know. No, I'm a Secret Invasion I'm talking about. I think we might Secret Wars. We might.
No. I'm sorry. I confused myself, Gunnar. A Secret Wars is a different story.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, they're not going to do that whole thing. They're not going to do it. But anyways, Jeff, what do you think about America Chavez?
Oh, I like her, man. I think it's awesome. I think the whole deal of her portals or stars, that's awesome, man. You know, she enters the dimension through stars.
Oh, she's very powerful.
Dude, she's something else. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's all the way. It's cool. They're introducing her. She's Hispanic character.
Isn't she essentially from a Earth from a different dimension?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where I think she comes into play. Is she comes in to fight? I call it.
Shumagorath.
Yeah, I call it Shumagorath, but she comes in to fight that. I think she enters through one of the star portals. With when she's fighting with Strange there. But I'm that's just me guessing. I mean, but yeah, she's an integral part, and she's the first lesbian character so far that we've gotten. I'm sure they'll introduce more as we go on.
Oh,
but
she's a lesbian?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I mean, but she's a very integral part, and I think we're gonna see her powers in this movie.
Well, I can tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. I've got some powers too. And America Chavez, if she's a lesbian, she should make sure that she should never hang out with me for an evening and whatnot. Because I'll tell you right now, it'll be over. It'll be done. Her entire identity will change. And I don't want to do that to her.
But she's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the MCU, and I hope they give her a lot of screen time in this movie. I hope it's just not a quick in and out deal. I hope they give her some time so they can develop that character a little bit and get people familiar with who she is.
Well, hey, I mean that is the dichotomy, right? That is the aspect. That's one of the aspects of of these projects, these films, these series that that when you map them out, when you plan them, when you strategize them, you know what I'm saying? When you decide who's going to get what, and who's going to get this much time and that much time, and who's going to do this and that. There's a lot to it and whatnot. It's a lot. There's a lot of details to it. You know what I mean? And at that point, literally, something like how much screen time a character gets in a movie could be massively influential for that character. You know what I mean? Or for that actress or actor. It could be. But honestly, as far as America Chavez goes, I think she's a great character, really interesting, great backstory, great powers. She could be a lot of fun in the MCU. She really could be. I'm glad she's in the film. I am. I think she fits into the film very well. And I think at the end of the day, you guys will all agree, there's other characters. There's going to be other characters from the Marvel comics that are going to be in this movie that aren't in the trailer. There will be. They didn't give us everything. So, okay, let's jump into the really intense question. Starting with you, Jeff, since you already we're talking and whatnot, I'll go back to you. What the hell is going on with freaking Professor X being in the freaking trailer?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know exactly what his role is going to be. I mean, I know, like we were talking, everybody immediately jumped on it that's the Illuminati and everything.
Nah.
I think it's Professor X, but I think it's a variant.
They're not going to do Jeff, I think we already talked. You already mentioned this earlier, I think, and Gunnar did too. I do not see them fleshing out the Illuminati in this movie. I don't see it.
No, but I think he's a variant. And I think that the voice is a variant. I think he's doing voiceover work for a variant. I'm not going to say it's Professor X. All right. I think that's a curveball thrown by Marvel.
Wait, so you think this is going to be the Ralph Boner of Doctor Strange 2?
I don't think it's going to be Professor X, man. I just don't. I think if it is, it'll come out at the end of the movie. But I don't think that. I think that's a variant. I think that's the voice of a variant on the council. And I mean, I hope
just an FYI, it has been confirmed that Patrick Stewart is Charles Xavier in Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness. It's been confirmed.
Wow. Great. It's also actually been confirmed that
I just don't think he would be on. I just don't think it's the Illuminati, though.
No, me neither.
I think it's a ploy.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to mention that that weird itchy shit I had going on and whatnot in my lower quarters and everything the other day has been confirmed as not herpes. Just to be clear.
Good deal. I was concerned about that.
Yep.
I looked that up online for you a couple of times.
Yep. It's not herpes. Yep. But anyways, oh man, I'm telling you right now. Listen, let's watch this freaking trailer again, man, because I'm telling you right now, there's more in it. There's more to see. There's more to find. There's more to talk about, and I want to see it again.
We'll play the Super Bowl one.
I will.
I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dream.
Oh man, I suck.
What do you know about the multiverse?
We should tell him the truth.
Careful, Stephen. This path exacts a heavy toll. Watch the full trailer online.
That was a very long ending.
Okay, now I'm gonna play the Doctor Strange trailer again.
What's up?
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! Become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Go ahead, Cyber.
Hold on. I'm out of focus. All of a sudden, I don't know why. Anyways, no, I just noticed something like that scene that just happened at the very end where it showed like that weird Doctor Strange and it's got the black coming out of it, kind of looking like Venom a little bit at the end there. And then it kind of showed, like, even before that, it kind of showed the kind of that same character kind of messing around and stuff like that. I was just thinking to as I was watching that, how many of us do we think that's the same What If Doctor Strange Supreme? Or is anybody thinking that? Has anybody mentioned that? I haven't seen anything about it, but I'm thinking that's Doctor Strange Supreme like we saw in What If.
I think more likely it's Zombie Strange from the zombie.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Because maybe it's like a mixture, I feel, of a Zombie Strange and Doctor Supreme. Because I feel just how that happening and how it's like moving and stuff like that just seems like something that there's several things that have amalgamated together, almost like The Thing, and The Thing back in 1982, that like how it formed together. That's what it made me think of. So that's what I'm thinking that is. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was kind of interesting, and if anybody else was thinking that was Supreme or not from the What If series.
Yeah, that's the same move he did against Thanos when he was fighting Thanos on Titan. He did that, whatever that it has a name. I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah, when there's like several different
versions of
yeah.
But no, I thought that the first
It's
time I
almost like
saw
a kaleidoscope. It's like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah. The first trailer at Spider-Man, I thought the Strange variant that was like, things are about to, I thought that was Strange Supreme at first, but the more I watch it, the more I don't think that. But I mean, it would be weird that the only Strange that didn't show up was the one that we're already aware of. But of course, he is stuck in a guarding, Vision Ultron or whatever they call it.
They give us a glance of the animation What If in the falling scene there too.
Yeah.
They show part of the animation there, which is kind of odd. I don't know if that's them going, if that's going to be showing them traveling through the different, multiverses or
and
exactly
I know we've been getting a lot of deep cuts, but that scene where him and Chavez are falling, Jeff, is that Devil Dinosaur right there in the back?
So it looks like.
That's
Very well could be. And if it is, that's awesome.
Yes, very.
But I haven't heard that. I haven't read anything that's even suggested that. So, but, then again, it may be people that aren't familiar with that. You know what I mean? With Moon Girl and they're not familiar with all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scene also makes me think of in Infinity War when Thanos uses the gauntlet to turn Drax into the puzzle pieces. It makes me totally think of that scene when they're falling there and the piecing of them, how they look. It makes me totally think of that. So I was like, is Thanos there?
And it reminds me of that famous variant cover from House of M. Yeah.
Yep. Where the face is all cubed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeff, you and I are on like the same wavelength here.
Well, it's definitely giving you, it's definitely opening up the imagination for every type of comic geek out there. And even people that aren't. It's opening up the third eye for everybody. Every time I see it, I keep thinking different theories. Like, for instance, when Patrick Stewart says, let's tell them the truth, I think that he's saying, let's tell them the truth about Wanda, that Wanda can destroy the entire universe. I think that's what he's referring to. But then again, it may be something totally different.
And then going back to WandaVision, a character that I know we mentioned on our podcast a bunch, the High Evolutionary. Yeah. He's rumored to be in Guardians 3. Could that Minotaur be the work of the High Evolutionaries?
Right.
Maybe.
Wintra.
Yeah, and that comic that he's on the cover of, that book started out at like $25. And as soon as that picture came out of the silhouette of him in the first trailer, dude, that book skyrocketed from like $25 up to $175, $200.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The spec market is just nuts. Disney Plus has done so much for comic book stores and the LCSs around here. It's just crazy, man. Crazy.
And but that's everything we wanted. How awesome was the Void, Thanos copter and Throg? And,
right. Yeah.
That was the greatest moment in MCU history. Everything we ever wanted right there. So much that we just couldn't control ourselves with excitement.
And people have to remember that the same guy that directed Loki is directing Doctor Strange too. The same guy. So, there's a lot of stuff it's just, I'm just glad it's going in this direction, really, truly, to tell you the truth. I'm happy it's going in the time direction.
Sam Raimi directed episodes of Loki. That's who's directing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness. The guy that did the original.
The guy's name, hang on.
I think he helped write Multiverse of Madness. I think that's what we're.
I think that's
Okay.
Yeah,
I got the guy's name written down. I forgot.
Well, hey guys, you guys want to change gears and go ahead and get into Moon Knight?
Sure.
All right.
Awesome. Let's watch the spot. If I can find
Yeah,
it.
it was Michael Waldron. He's a co-writer.
That's it.
He co-wrote Multiverse of Madness. So
That's it.
he was the showrunner on Loki.
I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams. It must be very difficult. The voice in your head. There's chaos in you. Embrace it.
I think instead of saying this March, it's to say the last 2 days of March, you'll get to see you'll get to see one episode of this series. Because actually, technically, it'll be kind of April we're watching it in.
Yeah, I wonder why they waited till March 30th to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's just seems like a odd date to start it on, the March 30th.
Honestly, I think because that way they can count those numbers towards their March numbers and the April numbers of subscribers.
Well, I know in the business world, February is such a short month anyway. Everybody runs behind on their numbers in February, because it's just so fast. This month flies by.
Yeah, especially because Boba Fett's over. Like, there's nothing really. Boba Fett's over. This week's the last Peacemaker. I mean, what's
Man, I love that. I
I
love that Boba Fett show. I've watched it. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I really did like it. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do. And I like that Peacemaker series too, man.
I love Peacemaker. It's so good.
I have not even started watching Peacemaker yet.
And it already got renewed for a second season.
It did.
Yeah, and
Jeff,
it's good. I like it.
Peacemaker is made for you, I think. I think they thought, what would Jeff S. like in a DC series?
Right.
And it is Peace. I'm telling you, Jeff, you are going to love it.
It's an X-rated show just for you, Jeff.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. That's great. You know what? I really genuinely appreciate that. I do. It's nice to know somebody's actually making content that is, in my wheelhouse.
But honestly, Jeff, we joke, but the humor in it is right up your alley.
It is.
I mean, everything about it is like I'm not trying to put you down or anything. I'm being 100% honest when I say you are going to love that show more than anything that Marvel has done, which is a pretty bold statement for someone that does a Marvel podcast.
Well, look, at the end of the day, Gunnar, I respect you and I respect your opinion. And you know what? If you think the Peacemaker is that good, I am sure it is pretty damn good. I do. I'm sure. And hey, you know what? I'm looking forward to watching it. And I'm pretty soon I probably will get into it. And once I start, I'll probably end up just slamming right through it and getting through all of it. But as far as Moon Knight goes, to start off, I want to ask everybody, and I want to start off with you, Jeff. What do you think of Ethan Hawke as the villain in this series? We don't know much about the character. I cannot remember the name of the character. He does not have a villain name. He has a regular name. But just tell me, first of all, I mean, what are your thoughts on the fact that it's Ethan Hawke himself, the actor that's actually playing the villain, and what are your thoughts? What are your theories about how his arc, his role could be in the series?
Well, I think they picked a good guy to play that role because he can play that psychotic role, I guess, maybe kind of crazy role. He can play that pretty good. And he's got that acting ability to get you to where you don't like him, He has that ability within his acting to have you not like him.
You mean kind of like Brie Larson?
Yeah, like he's got that ability though to make you not like him. you know. I mean, he's been good. He's gotten a bunch of awards, hasn't he? Hasn't he got like Academy Awards and stuff?
Yeah. No, I don't. I have no idea. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. All I know is that freaking Black Panther got nominated for a freaking Academy Award, dude. You know what I'm saying? What, dude? I'll tell you right now. The people who fucking who are at the Academy and whatnot, and pick who gets the awards are fucking delusional, liberal, leftist, fucking assholes, and like they don't know a goddamn thing. They're idiots.
I mean, when he did Training Day, he was awesome in Training Day. I mean,
oh yeah, he was. Yeah, Training Day is a freaking great movie, man. I've not seen that movie in a long time. It's a good ass movie.
And whatever the villain is in Moon Knight, you know exactly what that villain entails. I'm not sure, because I'll be honest with you, I haven't really read a lot about Moon Knight, so I know a little bit about him, but I don't know, you know, all the deep dives and all the behind the scenes of Moon Knight.
No, listen. None of us really know what this villain's going to be about. We don't. We don't know what he's about. We don't know what his goals are. We don't know what.
I'll tell you, I'm curious to see how Disney Plus is going to handle this, because Moon Knight's a vicious character. So it's going to be. I'm curious to see how they're going to handle it.
I feel like the Moon Knight series is a barometer for Kevin Feige, his team, and Marvel Studios in terms of how they're going to handle what they're going to do in the future with these characters like the Punisher when he comes in, with Ghost Rider.
I read today Punisher's going to Hulu second season.
Well, there you
Whether
go.
That's true or not.
That's where I'm going. That's what I'm saying. It's literally, I think Moon Knight is the barometer where they're literally going to watch and see.
But what does that mean, that Punisher's going to Hulu? Does that mean it's not part of the MCU?
What? No. What it would mean is Disney owns like 15% of Hulu. Okay.
No, they own all of Hulu now. They own all.
Do?
100%.
Okay.
They bought Fox and they bought NBC out.
What it means is they want that they potentially could use Halo, or they could use Hulu as a vehicle, just like Netflix, to allow them to bring the characters like the Punisher, Ghost Rider into the MCU, but flush them out, do their origin stories, you know, do their meat of their content with them on Hulu, where they can do R-rated content.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, because when I think of the Hulu Marvel stuff, MODOK, Cloak and Dagger, the New Mutants, like stuff like that wasn't part of the MCU. So now are they saying that, by the way, this is part of the MCU?
The New Mutants was started by Fox.
Well, not New Mutants. That's something different. But what I'm saying is, like Cloak and Dagger and MODOK, those are two shows. There was a show with Squirrel Girl that was supposed to be on Hulu and they scrapped it. Howard the Duck was supposed to have a series on Hulu and they scrapped it. So what does that mean about that stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll tell you right now, if they do a Howard Duck series, I'm not watching it. So, you know, I mean, either way, it's whatever to me, you know?
I tell you what, if James Gunn does it, I will watch it and it will be amazing, because James Gunn is the only one I think could do that character justice. But not Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith was supposed to make it, but
I'll tell you right now, James Gunn, the Suicide Squad film was freaking ridiculously good. Ridiculously good.
Well, did anybody hear that originally that Ethan Hawke was going to be the Sun King in Moon Knight, and then I think they mentioned Dracula?
I did hear that, but I think it was just speculation because they didn't know what character he played. But this character that he plays is not. I'm not a Moon Knight guy, so this is what I'm. One of my friends is a huge Moon Knight fan.
And he's not a big villain.
He was in a throwaway character in a throwaway episode of the book.
Right.
Only appeared in one issue.
Right. So, that's what I had read, was that the villain, that he wasn't like a main villain. He was like a throwaway character, really.
So maybe that means he is going to be a bigger character.
I would not be surprised, honestly.
Maybe they'll retcon him into making him something else.
Well, Cyber, I'll go to you in just 1 second. I just want to point out, I would not be surprised at all, but we'll see, of course, if the Ethan Hawke character that as the villain is a villain, but he's not the main villain. He's not like a nemesis or whatever. You know, he's not hugely impactful. He's just a name. He's in the series, and overall, you know what I mean? Like WandaVision, kind of, right? There is no like real like main villain. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you know, well, not WandaVision. You know, like Loki, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be one of those things where literally, like, throughout the Moon Knight series, literally, there ends up being no big villain. That's not the premise. That's not the theme of it. You know? But we'll see.
Well, here's a thought for you, Jeff. In Marvel, it seems like a lot of the time the villain is just the evil version of the main character. So you got Iron Man, Ironmonger. You got Thor and Loki. You've got Captain America and the Winter Soldier. They're essentially the same character. One's a dark version of it. So what if this Ethan Hawke character is a character with multiple personalities, playing multiple villains, maybe a villain for each of Mark Spector's personalities?
Well, I don't know, but what I do know is this. Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige are all about change and transition and evolution when it boils down to it. They care about trends. They care about the fandom. You know what I'm saying? They do. They react at this point. With these Disney Plus series now, they react in real time now to what the hell's going on with the fandom and the media and what they're saying about these series, these movies, right? And at that point, literally, you know, they did a whole Infinity Saga of movies where literally the entire premise every single time was the hero and then the huge villain. And that was the premise, right? That was it. That was the story. Well, guess what? Now they're trying to change it up. They want to go in a different direction. You know, they want to do something different. So you're not going to see a lot of like straight up, Thanos versus the Avengers and the stuff that's going to be coming out, I think, in the rest of Phase 4 and Phase 5. I think you're going to see a lot of, misdirection. You know what I mean? Like again, like Loki, right? Throughout the whole Loki series, right? We had no clue in any way, really, who the villain was, or even if there was a villain.
Well, it was Sylvie the first half of the series. Until they got stuck on, what is it, Lamentus, or whatever that planet was on?
At the end of the Loki series, there is no villain. There is none. Right?
What about Kang?
Huh?
What about Kang? Kang was a villain.
He wasn't the villain, though. He wasn't the villain.
I think he was.
In the finale, the Kang variant, right? He actually wanted to do the right thing. His premise, like everything, was literally just. And then Sylvie killed him.
I mean, you could say Ravonna was the villain.
The Jonathan Majors Kang variant in the finale of Loki, literally,
he remains.
He remains. Was the person, the entity that was literally keeping the timelines in check to where things were like copacetic, right? He gave them a choice. He gave them a choice of how they wanted to handle things with him. Leave him alone, let him run it, let him keep shit harmonious, or kill him. Right? So at that point, was he really a villain? We don't know.
Yeah, but don't forget, though, how do we know that wasn't his plan to begin with? Because we are going to see him in Quantumanium. So how do we know that he already knew Sylvia was going to kill him? He allowed her to kill him so that he could proceed on what he wanted to do. Because he said, too, that the other Kangs that he was supposed to take control of all wanted to take over. So how do we know he wasn't one of those variants already that wanted to take over and was pretending to be what he says he was? Because remember, like you said before, Loki is a master deception. So how do we know Kang wasn't doing the exact same thing? And that's actually really his motive. So hence, he is a bad guy. Just because he got killed and said he wanted it to go does not mean he's not a bad guy.
Okay,
he winked at her and told her, "I'll see you soon."
No, that's a good point. But at the same time, honestly, this is just my premise. This is my opinion, right? I think that He Who Remains character, the Kang variant in that finale, literally, honestly, he literally was almost crazy. Basically, he had been literally alive and existing for so long throughout time. You know what I'm saying? Hundreds of thousands of years. You know, and literally, he finally got to a point where literally he did not even fucking care anymore. What happened or didn't happen? He didn't care. He didn't care anymore, and he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll the dice. Let's see what happens. I don't think it was evil. I don't think he had a master plan of evil. I think he literally did not even care at the end of the day what happened or didn't happen.
I think it was all part of his deception.
Well, at the end of the day, there's lots of other Kang variants. You know what I'm saying? With a lot that are really evil. You know what I mean? So, you know, just wait till we get those.
Yeah, he was just one member of the Council of Kings.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be really interesting. It is because you know what? Jonathan Majors is gonna be given an opportunity to do some really, really interesting work in terms of expanding what Tom Hiddleston already did with Loki, with his variant and the different Lokis and everything and whatnot, you know, the different arcs of Loki and whatnot throughout the MCU. Well, Jonathan Majors is going to get a chance to play alternate versions of Kang that are all different. All of them. I mean, who knows how many they're going to give us? You know, it's interesting. It really is. You know, where it could go. But back to Moon Knight. So basically, right, with Moon Knight in that TV spot. Oh, well, hold on. Back to the premise. Let's finish the premise real quick, with the Hulu deal, Moon Knight, how it's gonna play, the graphic violence, all that, whatever. I want to go around real quick. Gunnar, you first. Do you think they're gonna pull it off with Moon Knight on the Disney Plus? That series, they're gonna pull off that series on Disney Plus. It's gonna work, and people are gonna be happy with what they get at the end of the series.
Kevin Feige has not let us down yet, so I got faith in him.
Okay. Jeff B.
Do I think it's going to work?
How do you think? You tell me. Do you think the fandom's going to be happy? Do you think the media is going to be happy? Is it going to work on Disney Plus when it's all done?
Yeah, I think it'll work. I think it'll be like all these other series. They'll, the ratings won't be great, and Rotten Tomatoes, it won't be scoring real well. But I always go back and say that's because people want to stream the whole thing at one time. They don't want to just watch one series and wait each week. So I think it's kind of hard to get ratings on streaming stuff anyway. But I think it'll work. I mean, I think they'll make it work.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be their worst dud or anything like that.
Cyber.
Well, just like with any of the, TV series that have been on Disney Plus, each have their goods, they each have their bads. I feel this will have the exact same thing, just like any of the other ones. There will be people that hate it. There are going to be people that are going to love it.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
There, exactly. Yeah. And just like Gunnar said, Kevin Feige has not let us down yet. So I have a feeling that this still will be a decent series. I mean, we got Oscar Isaac, hands down right there. I feel that's going to be a good series anyways because he is a tremendous actor and he always delivers good product. So I feel even if the series itself, people don't like where the story goes, I still think they're all going to still like Oscar Isaac and still say they like the series because of his performance. So overall, I think it'll be another decent success, for, the MCU for a Disney Plus series. And just like, Jeff B said too, as well, all these critics, just like, some do want to fully stream it. They don't want to watch one episode at a time. And so they're going to have bad things to say because they're going to be able to nitpick at every little detail by each episode because they're watching it one episode at a time. So when you watch it all in one, big span, you get a better picture of what you're looking at. So it makes it more conducive to what people want to see, and like they have a better understanding. And so when you watch a TV series only one episode at a time, a lot of times you're not sure where this is going because you have to wait to watch it. So I think that plays into it too.
Well, as far as Kevin Feige goes, and then never letting us down, what happened with fucking signing Brie Larson for a long-term contract and everything and whatnot, and thinking that she was going to be literally the face of like Marvel, the MCU. Did he go to the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway that day or some shit when he signed that contract? What happened? I'm just playing. I'm just joking, guys.
I'm a huge Brie Larson fan. I'm excited for more of her.
Oh my god, whatever. Whatever, man. I'll tell you what.
I just do that to get a rise out of you, Jeff.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Gunnar, but I do like Brie Larson. The United States of Terror, she was amazing.
Gunnar, you literally so rarely ever make a joke or whatever at all or whatever. Like you're so intense about this shit that like when you do actually make a joke, I don't even know you're making a joke. I'm like, okay. You're subtle like that, man. You're subtle. But anyways, no. All I can say is just that I'm telling you right now, I have freaking no respect at all for the fact that Brie Larson literally would not fucking sign with Marvel Studios unless they put a diversity inclusion fucking clause or whatever into the goddamn fucking contract, man. That literally, when she got interviewed by the media for her films, for her content and whatnot, it had to be trans fucking black fucking people or whatever to do it. No white people. No white guys.
See, I don't pay attention to stuff like that.
She would not sign until that was in there.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me because I don't know about it. Until you brought it up right now, I didn't know that. And I don't let stuff like that. I don't let that bother me.
Hey, look, I don't let all that stuff bother me either, but you know what? It bothers me, bad. It's fucking stupid. Okay? Literally. And literally, it's insulting. At the end of the day, when you look at the fandom, and you look at the media that covers Marvel, that covers geek shit, the fandom, nerd stuff, Star Wars, whatever, it's all white males. Look at our goddamn show right now. How many freaking Chinese people do you see right now on the panel? Okay? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, look, at the end of the day, the concept of the idea that you will not sign up with Marvel freaking Studios, right, to do movies and whatnot and get paid a bunch of damn money, unless the freaking people who literally read the comics, support the fucking content, are like completely loyal to it, support the hell out of it, buy all the shit, cannot interview her or talk to her.
But that didn't affect the movie at all. I mean, it didn't. There wasn't any, swapping of characters, which I know a lot of people get upset when they take a character and change its race or its sex. There was none of that in Captain Marvel.
No, honestly, you know what? To tell you the truth, I think honestly what happened with Captain Marvel is Brie Larson is such a genius as an actress that she decided that literally she was going to be unique and purposely make a terrible movie and be fucking a joke and like be bad at her job on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because, to be unique and do something different. That's it. That's how good she is. No, I'm just playing. Look, Gunnar, if you love Captain Marvel, that's fine, man. That's great.
I didn't say I love it. It would probably be in my lower quarter of movies. I'm just saying, like I don't let stuff outside of the production get in my way of enjoying something. That's just me, like if you never would have told me that, if I lived my whole life not knowing that, and I still don't know what it means because it, none of that stuff happened in her movie.
Brie Larson is such a freaking whack job, but like literally the shit she believes in and whatnot and everything that she's passionate about and whatnot, that literally, if Brie Larson literally went to a bar one night and whatnot and was getting drunk and shit, you know what I'm saying, and was hanging out with some dudes and whatnot, she would purposely turn down and reject the fucking white guy that she was like crushing on and getting along with and whatnot and treated her nice, and like literally go home and let a fucking Spanish guy bang her and like treat her like shit. just for diversity. You know what I'm saying? Literally. That's Brie Larson. No, I'm just playing. You know, but you never know. It could happen. So, as far as literally, you know, I believe I went around to everybody, didn't I, when it comes to how well Moon Knight will be received. Cyber, did I get to you?
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So, you know, I agree with you guys. I'm sure Moon Knight will do okay. It will. I don't think it'll be bad. I don't see how it could be. You know, but I will tell you this. The TV spot is short. It's so quick. And not much really happens. You know, there's not really, to me, there wasn't that much impactful in there.
The thing is that it's just so overshadowed with how great that Multiverse of Madness trailer is.
Well, I really do think that, and you guys can tell me what you think. Just go ahead. Whoever wants to chime in. I'm loving everything I'm seeing in the two Moon Knight trailers where they're showing the Egypt aspect, the desert, the pyramids, Khonshu. You know what I'm saying? You know, his origin, right? I'm loving it. I'm loving the images of all of it. That part where he's on his knees and he looks like he's praying or whatever, you know, or whatever. I love how it looks. I do. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes throughout the series for them to do his origin. Like how much it consumes out of like the 6 episodes, you know? And there's no way to be able to tell based off what we've seen so far. And that again, that's why I said that honestly, I'm not sure what's going to end up happening with Ethan Hawke as the villain and how impactful he's going to be. Because what if literally the first 4 episodes are connected to literally his origin? And like that's the series. We'll have to see. But when it boils down to it, what do you guys think about the fact that is Werewolf by Night? That he's beaten up in the first trailer. This is beyond the TV spot. You know, starting with you, Jeff. What do you think about the fact that we're getting Werewolf by Night in the MCU? And basically, he's the first character in the coming out in the MCU and actually making an appearance that ties into what we're going to end up getting with the whole monsterverse, mystical, supernatural wing of the MCU.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it was now.
That is Werewolf by Night. That he's beaten up in that one scene in the first trailer where he's pounding the guy. That's Werewolf by Night.
So I don't know how they're going to lead up to that. They've got to lead up to that somehow. So I don't know. I mean, it pumped me up when I seen that, but I can't wait to see how they lead up to that. You know.
Oh well, they're also doing the Werewolf by Night special later this year. They're doing a special with Werewolf by Night. Who knows where that could go?
Yeah.
So, no, Jeff, just to expand the question, what are your thoughts on the fact that this is an opening, like, you know, a connection, a step to us eventually getting Ghost Rider, to us eventually getting Morbius in the MCU, to us eventually getting Doctor Strange assembling and putting together the Midnight Suns at some point eventually, and us having that in the MCU, that whole concept?
Well, I think they'll do that through Disney Plus. I think they'll introduce. I want to say that they'll introduce Ghost Rider maybe in the movies, but I don't know which movie they'll bring him in on.
Well, I think Blade's already doing that with.
Now maybe he'll come in the Blade movie. I forgot about the Blade movie.
I mean, Dane Whitman and him already started working.
Yeah, so we know him and Dane are together, you know, and now we got Moon Knight. That's another part of the Midnight Suns, right? So I don't know. I don't know where they'll bring. I don't know how they'll bring Ghost Rider into the mix unless they bring him in on the Blade movie. You know, because that's going to further the monster supernatural side. It's going to be the Blade movie.
I'm sure we all already know that, like, literally, like, I don't know what, 77 different times there's been leaks and rumors that Ghost Rider was going to be in Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
That was literally like the dope, like the true dope for a long time. Now I don't see it coming. I don't see it happening. I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything else about that part. But now, like I said, I do know that, dadgummit, Norman Reedus, has been given that role, apparently. So now I don't know if that's, written in stone or if that's for sure it, but I know that he was mentioned as taking on the Ghost Rider character in the MCU. So we know it's there. I think they'll probably bring him in on the Blade movie somehow. He'll be introduced in the Blade movie.
Okay. Cyber, what do you think about the fact that we're going to get Werewolf by Night in the Moon Knight series? And what do you think it means for the future of, again, the supernatural wing of the MCU we're eventually going to get?
I mean, honestly, I don't know much about Werewolf at Midnight or whatever, however it's called. I just know that he's a part of Moon Knight's, mythology. I briefly looked him up, while we were talking about it, and that his name is Jack. His human form is Jack.
Jack Russell.
Yeah, Jack Russell, and that he, basically turns into this giant werewolf, and so, I mean, this definitely is a great step into that supernatural field of, the MCU, along with Ghost Rider, Blade, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a nice direction that, they're, with this whole multiverse of madness, or the multiverse, I should say, they're really taking it to where they're able to put in all the different other aspects that they really haven't touched on in the MCU so far. Because if you think about it, the first 20 plus films, the Infinity Saga, was all about that main Avengers clan, the OG Avengers, and kind of just the Earth elements. And, we had a little bit of, the space element come here, and we had all the gems and stuff we dealt with, and a little bit about space. And so the supernatural side, the, monster side, and the multiverse itself, the, all that kind of stuff really have got into very slowly with the start of Doctor Strange 1. And so as we've gone along now, and since Avengers Endgame, we're getting more and more into that field. So I think this is a good direction, and that it's nice that they're finally putting into place a lot of these other fields we have not seen in the MCU so far. And I think they're trying to do it. They're not doing it all at the same time, but at the same time, they're trying to put in enough to keep people enticed. And so I think that's how, like, the Blade movie is going to run, and that's how Moon Knight is going to run, and all that kind of stuff. So I think Werewolf by Midnight is a great choice to bring into it along with Moon Knight and give us some more of that type of MCU content. What was the other question?
What do you think about the fact that the Werewolf by Night character gives us a step, a connection, a ladder that ties us into the eventual creation and the eventual development of the Blade, Ghost Rider, Morbius, Doctor Strange, Monsterverse, Midnight Suns type wing of, like, the MCU?
Yeah, just like I was saying before, it's a great stepping stone. It's a nice, way of Marvel introducing these characters. And it's nice to see that they're finally introducing these characters, kind of like with, bringing into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, bringing in Dr. Xavier, mutants, finally getting that into the mix. So that's I feel that's the same kind of principle, is that they're doing it slowly to give us that taste, but eventually I think we're just going to all of a sudden get expanded, and it's just going to explode with all these type of characters of the supernatural realm as soon as Blade decides to finally pop up that film. I think that's when it's really going to explode. And I mean, the fact that Sony is, bringing in Morbius, which I feel is another aspect of that field of the Monsterverse too as well.
Yes.
So I think that those two joining together is kind of expanding that supernatural realm and bringing us these monsters. So I think it's a great idea on how they're doing it, and I think that very shortly we're going to see more of it, and that it's going to become a mainstay in the MCU.
I think that Sony strategically, literally did Morbius, decided to choose Morbius as a character to make a film, to produce a film about and whatnot, and focus and whatnot and everything, at the time that they did, okay? Out of all the 220 characters that they get out of Spider-Man, right? Morbius, I literally think it was a strategic thing that has less to do with literally caring about Morbius, the character, and thinking that it'll be popular and do great or whatever. I think it has had more to do literally with the contract ties and the entire dynamic and relationship with Marvel Studios and Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and all that. I think that literally, and the aspect of competing with, you know, the MCU itself, with the Sonyverse and the Venomverse. I think that is an element of why they did Morbius, literally. And it could have been a major element, to tell you the truth. You know? Because again, remember, Sony is not making money off anything other than literally Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's it. You know? So I mean, this Venomverse bullshit, this Spider-Man character universe bullshit that Sony's starting and doing, they're banking on it. It has to work. It has to. You know? I mean, Sony's not doing that hot financially. So, you know, anyways, I'm sorry. I don't want to get too deep on that. Gunnar, what do you think, man? You know all about this. I know you do. And we've talked about this before in the past. What do you think? What do you think about the fact that we're getting Jack Russell in Moon Knight, and that what that could lead into?
Yeah, no, I mean, possibilities are endless. I mean, as long as they do it properly, which they've done everything else properly so far. I mean, that's the thing. Like, they could make this Marvel universe. It's such a small, confined thing, like the Netflix universe. They could make that to where it lives on its own plane and doesn't necessarily have to interact with the rest of the MCU. But when it does interact, like in Far From Home, it made so much sense. So, you know, you can have these small pockets, but as long as they don't hurt the rest of the universe, you know, then awesome, you know, and then when they're called upon for their big day, they come up and they hit it out of the park. So I'm excited for what this means. And then where are they going to go next? You know, we look, just always keep looking at the future, you know, where are they going to take this next? So,
well, you know what? I'm glad you said that. This is my last question for the show. Before we close out, I got one last question for my panel. Okay. All right. So, you know, in a couple of years, right? In phase 5 and phase 6, we are literally going to end up getting, potentially, in the MCU, like 7 different freaking teams, okay? Coming out, right? Literally, we're going to get the X-Men at some point. We're going to get the X-Men. We know we are, right? We don't know the lineup. We don't know the number. We don't know the characters that are going to make up that first team, right? But we know we're going to get the X-Men. We are. We're going to get the Fantastic Four in phase 5. We are. We're going to get the Thunderbolts at some point. We are. At some point, they're going to do the Thunderbolts. They have to. They already have the characters to do it. They're already there, essentially. Just like the Young Avengers. We're going to get the Young Avengers team, okay? We're going to eventually get the Midnight Suns team, right? It's going to happen. I don't see how it's possible that they don't do the Midnight Suns in the MCU. It could be literally massively popular and impactful and make a lot of money. You know? A team with Ghost Rider, Blade, Morbius, you know what I'm saying? Doctor Strange, man. You know? I mean, seriously, that could be sick.
The Defenders.
Then you throw in the next Avengers team, the new Avengers, right? They're going to come. They're going to be coming back eventually. They have to. We already know they're going to come back. Is it possible at all that maybe literally, look, all right, there's already people out there that think it's negative and not good for cinema in general and whatnot, that Marvel Studios dominates the cinematic universe and like market right now, right? Do any of you think at all that there's a possibility that literally, when all this goes down, when all these teams assemble and they're all there and everything and whatnot, this shit can become so vast that literally it could be too much. Too much. At that point. Now, I'm not saying it'd be bad. I'm not saying negative. I'm not saying, it's not going to work or whatever, or it's not going to be fun or good to watch. I'm just asking, is that oversaturation at that point? Go ahead, Gunnar.
I mean, the reason why it's gotten so vast is because they haven't had a setback yet. You know, the Marvel Fox franchise, you know, that was their goal, to get where the MCU is now. And they were going to spin off, and Wolverine had his own show, his own movie, and First Class became the X-Men Origins Magneto. That was he had his own film that was scheduled, and you had X-Men Origins. What was the Taylor Kitsch character from Wolverine? Gambit. That was their goal with the X-Men universe. But what happened? X-Men Origin Wolverine was a turd nugget, and they scrapped it all. And instead of continuing what they're doing, they took that Magneto origin story and just rebooted the franchise. Same thing with Fantastic Four. Their goal after the Josh Trank Fantastic Four was to cross over with the X-Men. That was their goal. But that movie was so bad that they scrapped everything and they shut it down. That's the difference between the MCU and all these other franchises. Is first off, it's being run by a guy that knows his crap, respects the craft, and wants to see it done right in Kevin Feige. So I fear the day that he leaves and doesn't put someone in his place that has the same heart as him. It's the same thing with Dave Filoni on Star Wars. He's there, and that's why the stuff he works on is so good. So I don't think it'll get diluted, because I don't think Marvel's going to let it get diluted. And yeah, we got all these teams. We also, you know, one day I hope to see the West Coast Avengers with Tigra and Wonder Man and all that. Like, that would be amazing. And you know what? Because these guys aren't going to do these movies forever. Let them off, give them, you know, let them out of their contract for a couple of years, and we move on to the next thing. And when those guys are ready to come back, we work them in. So I don't think it will be oversaturated, because they haven't screwed up enough to restart it. So once they hit a couple of bumps in the road and how they handle it, you know, I think that they've got that cleanse the palate mentality right now with Disney Plus, where, look, Eternals wasn't the movie they thought it was going to be. But you know what? As soon as Eternals was done, they gave us Hawkeye and Spider-Man, and guess what? We forgot all about Eternals. So I think that next man up mentality is going to keep them so where it's not so diluted.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would like to work in Tessa Thompson sometime, you know, for a minute and whatnot, and get into that a little bit. You know, she is a very nice looking woman. Just to be clear, I think that honestly, you know, I'm just to be quick with this. When I saw that intro picture that I have of her, with that intro I made, I did not even realize that was her. I did not realize that was Valkyrie. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But anyways, so before I go to you, Cyber, on this whole, you know, aspect or question of oversaturation with all those teams and whatnot, and the Marvel content becoming too much, you know, or like oversaturated to the point where like it devalues the content, or you know, it becomes negative. I just want to, you know, put out some breaking news. We've got breaking news from a source about who the new head writer for Captain Marvel 2 is going to be.
Was that Mario from Nintendo?
No, that's the head writer for Captain Marvel 2. They just that was the interview tape for Kevin Feige that was sent in.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, Cyber, back to my actual serious question, man. What do you think? What do you think about like my premise or whatever that I threw out there?
I don't think it's ever going to be oversaturated. Simply the fact that how, you know, with the whole coronavirus thing that's happened and they've pushed so many things back, I think that was a way that, you know, Marvel decided to actually kind of give unsaturation to the thing, because all the way up to Endgame, we had so many movies. And, you know, by that time, I'm sure a lot of people were kind of like, oh, we've had a lot of this. Maybe I am feeling a little exhumed by the MCU, but because they pushed those things back and gave us that kind of break and having to wait for these other films, I think that right there was kind of a break so that they could keep the momentum going. And just like Gunnar said, I think Marvel knows what they're doing. They're going to give us what we want, but at the same time, make sure that it's spaced properly so that we never get oversaturated by it. So yeah, I think that's where it's going. And I think that if they keep on the course that they're on, I think they're going to do for years and years to end.
Jeff B.
I think it'll go on for as long as they keep doing it. I don't think it. I don't think you can oversaturate something if you do it right. But they and so far they've done things right. But I'll tell you something we haven't even talked about it just crossed my mind when we were talking about X-Men. It hit me. The New Mutants movie that came out that had Magic and those young characters of New Mutants.
Magic is a freaking awesome character, man.
All right. Magic is definitely a strong mutant. I mean, and she's all over the comic book world.
I wish they would bring that actress and that character into the MCU. I wish they would.
So now the girl that was the wolf that played as a wolf in that series, what was her character?
From the girl from Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yeah, was that considered a wolf man or what?
No. That was that was
Nightbane or something.
Wolfsbane.
Okay.
Wolfsbane. Yep.
So now is that New Mutant universe? Is that Fox or Sony?
Wolfsbane was a big part of X-Force with Cable in the comics. Like she was a main member of X-Force. Which I loved.
So that movie, was that a Marvel movie? Was that movie included in the Marvel universe?
It was started by Fox, and then they made it and they produced it and they did it. They made it, and then because of the acquisition of Fox by Disney, it ended up being attached to Marvel Studios basically and distributed by Disney, but made by Fox.
I'm just wondering if they'll bring some of those characters in.
Yeah, me too. I wondered that multiple times. I really do. Honestly,
I just thought about that when y'all were talking. I was sitting there thinking, I remember New Mutants, but I couldn't remember if it was Marvel Universe or not.
There's valuable characters and performances by actors and actresses in that movie that I think would transfer into the MCU and work. I do.
Well, Magic is what's his name? Sister.
Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colossus.
Yep. Well, hey guys, listen. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Great time. Great discussion. Great conversation. Enjoyed the hell out of it.
We never even talked about Boba Fett.
Hey, you know what? Boba Fett can go to sleep for a while. It'll be okay. He can take a break.
Word.
We'll get to it. Believe me, don't worry. We're gonna get all over Boba Fett still. But
Jeff, nothing like 2 hours on 5 minutes worth of new footage. It's awesome.
No.
Listen, hey Gunnar, listen.
It's great. It's a good thing.
Yo, I've done shows before where I had no premise. I had no topics started. I had nothing, and I just did them off the fly completely. Just off the fly, off the cuff, the whole show. Made it all up and did it. I got on for 2.5 hours. That way, I've done shows like that, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it on the Bleeding Edge, yo. We don't play around. We're pretty damn talented. You know what I'm saying? We're just undiscovered. We're an undiscovered talent and jewel of like the Marvel MCU, entertainment fandom content creator bullshit or whatever universe. So anyways, look, I just want to go ahead and thank Gunnar and thank Jeff B and thank Renee for coming on and guesting on the show tonight. Thank you guys. It's good to have you on again. Thanks for being on the main show with me and Cyber.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Yep. This is the All-Star show. This is the big show. The Wednesday evening show of the MCU Bleeding Edge with me and Cyber is legitimately like, you know, the
Hey, I dropped some free advertising at the restaurant tonight too. My waiter came up to the table and we were talking, and I told him that he had asked about a shirt. I had a Loki shirt on. He's made a comment about my shirt. We got talking about Marvel, and I told him, I said, "Man, you need to tune in tonight then at 9:30." I give him MCU Bleeding Edge. He typed it in on his phone. He pulled it up and he looked at me. He says, "This it?" And I said, "That's it, man." So yeah, we got some free advertising on that tonight.
Listen, I'm just gonna put it out there right now. All right, Cyber Jeff B is fucking a goddamn good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you right now, he is a friend of the freaking MCU's Bleeding Edge, man. He's all about it. What he does for us in the comment section, you know, coming out on the weekends with me and whatnot, and banging out shows, you know. I mean, seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's a fucking, like, good guest, man. He is. And I'll tell you right now, I kind of feel like, you know, that he's under the radar at this point, and that's all we have him. You know, I'm gonna enjoy and get the value out of that motherfucker now, because honestly,
it's gonna squeeze me dry.
Yo, listen, Jeff, there's a lot of other MCU podcasts and YouTube channels and shit that would love to fucking have you.
Oh, shit.
I mean, look, I can tell you right now, you know, you could go sub in for.
Man, I love talking about this shit. I love talking about Marvel and comic books and stuff.
Hey,
man, that's what I dig the shit out of it.
Jeff, you could go sub in for Chris at fucking MCU Mondays or whatever, straight up and whatnot, and like literally, like turn his show into like an Oscar-worthy like fucking show and shit, based off of like the crap he makes, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it is.
I don't know about all that.
Yo, people go on his show and fake laugh at his stupid jokes. They fake laugh for him, literally. That is just. That is. I mean, come on, man.
I can understand that.
Yep. Look, hey, you know what? I got hella love for GNN, Geek News Sound Network, and the great friendships that I made out of it, and the great guests on the Bleeding Edge that we got out of it. But I'm telling you right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Damon from GNN, just to be clear, honestly, we were the goddamn best show that you assholes had when you guys had us. You know what I'm saying? And like literally.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that was on your show that reminded me of Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, okay, that's who. All right, yeah, all right. I didn't know. I forgot his first name was Chris. Okay, yeah, no, I could see me making up fake laughing for that show. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm telling you right
that
now,
guy.
dude. That is one fake ass dude, man. Straight up. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, dude. That guy is lucky, dude.
I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah. No, honestly, no. It doesn't matter. So listen, I just want to mention again that you guys were great tonight. Great discussion. I mean, see, I feel like we could go on and on for Doctor Strange 2 trailer, you know, for another 2 hours if we wanted to. You know, the stuff we didn't even get to with it. But either way, I want to thank Cyber, my co-host, of course, for being here, you know, and having my back as always, and doing a great job on the panel. He will be back next Wednesday, moderating. I'm assuming probably doing episode 6 of Boba Fett review and whatever else we cover during that show. That's what I'm thinking will probably be going down. And I want to go ahead and just put it out there that we really appreciate all the support, the love we get from folks out there in the fandom, from our family members, from our friends, you know, everybody that supports us. Y'all are good people. Thank you to all our subscribers. You know, please, you know, like our videos. When this comes out after this live stream and it becomes a video on YouTube and you check it out, like us, ring the bell, you know, check out some of our other content, you know, and at the end of the day, we are literally banging out some solid freaking dope ass MCU content on the Bleeding Edge. And hey, eventually somebody's going to notice, I think. But hey, when it boils down to it, it's not me or Cyber that makes this shit work or good. It's all the damn good people that come on here at the end of the day. That's what makes this work. Without all the great guests and collaborators that we've worked with, there wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't work. So anyway, which I kind of think connects to the MCU in a way. and Marvel and the whole theme, the whole Stan Lee premise and all that. But anyways, I don't want to go on a tangent. I'm sorry. For Cyber, for Renee, for Gunnar, for Jeff B, this is Jeff S, True Knowledge, in the house, MCU's Bleeding Edge, and we will see you next week. Well, no, excuse me, Friday night. Peace.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.